Probably spending like $7 or $8 million. I want to give 100 people $100,000. They go, you're crazy. I can't keep going. I don't recommend you guys try this.
Jimmy Donaldson, aka MrBeast, is by far the most dominant YouTuber on the planet, and somehow we got him to come on the Iced Coffee Hour for a 1-hour exclusive interview where he reveals unbelievable details on his business that have never been shared before.
Beast Burger has done over 100 million in sales. The main channel now, probably like 3 or 4 million a month.
So if you're interested in this and want to see more episodes like this,
hey, you should subscribe right now.
Because we have episodes coming out every single Sunday here on the Iced Coffee Hour. Thank you so much, and on to the episode. But first, we have to thank our sponsor of this episode, Epidemic Sound, the best tool for all creators to soundtrack their content.
We use it, MrBeast uses it, and so many of your favorite creators do too.
Epidemic is hands down the best tool for video creators to soundtrack and monetize their videos without receiving copyright strikes or worrying about takedowns.
After all, if you want to make the best content, you have to have the best tools, and Epidemic Sounds has the best music and sound effects for your videos.
We personally have been using Epidemic Sound for nearly 2 years now. If you don't believe us, go back to the second video we ever posted on this to family and check out the intro.
And we've been using Epidemic Sound in almost every video since then because they've seriously been that good.
And considering Epidemic's massive library of over 35,000 tracks and 90,000 sound effects, that's not just copyright free, but actually good, it's no surprise to us and so many other creators why it's the go-to music tool in video creation.
All tracks are professionally produced by a diverse group of artists and exclusive to Epidemic Sound, meaning you can't get them anywhere else.
Their personal plan is ideal for content creators as it covers most platforms including YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, and podcasts.
And for all of you entrepreneurs out there, they also offer a commercial plan. It's the perfect choice for businesses, freelancers, and agencies to soundtrack their content.
So be sure to check them out using the link down below in the description, and additionally use the code TICH50 to receive a 30-day trial plus 50% off your next 2 months when signing up for a personal plan.
I really believe you guys are going to enjoy it. And now with that said, let's get back to the podcast.
Welcome back to Iced Coffee. I'm your host, MrBeast. These are some guests I brought on, and I'm going to be interviewing them to see how much money they make. How's it going, guys?
Good.
Good. Guess how much we've made?
On this channel?
Yes.
How many views?
What is it? 33 million views.
And what's the average length of the video?
About an
hour?
hour and a half.
Okay, last question. How many mid-rolls do you do?
Graham
Quite a
likes to
bit.
do one every like 3-4 minutes.
Okay, 3-4 minutes.
Yeah, no, we change it to like one every 10.
And it's categorized as a finance channel.
Yes.
Education.
Okay, so 30, I would say probably $11 RPM, so I would say 300 grand.
That's so, that is so
That's
close.
the
What
most
is it?
analytical answer we've ever
Yeah,
seen. You'd be the
252.
closest.
252, there we go.
Great answer.
Yeah, what do people
Because
normally get?
some of those views are shorts. So actually, if we take
Yes,
out the
that's
shorts,
true, that's
you would
true.
have been
I was
spot
lied
on.
to. What, so it is
Yeah.
around a $10 RPM?
That's pretty much exactly what it is.
Okay,
Is
that's
it
what I
actually?
thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
I
very
don't
good.
even know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because like if you put like stock or like S&P 500, you can get like $20 or $25. But I assume not every title is like perfect keywords. So some could be like 6, but your better ones could be 12 and like the median.
Yeah, I've seen for Shopify and Amazon FBA, it's about
Yeah.
$30 to $40
Exactly. It
RPAs.
gets freaking
it's
crazy.
insane. Some of the credit card videos I've done have been about that.
Yeah. 100%.
nuts, yeah.
I almost considered doing a finance channel at one point just because of that. Like I gave whatever, like all 10 people credit cards and then like check back 6 months later to see who has higher credit score, like things like that. But I never ended up doing it because I was like,
I thought you were about to say who has the most debt.
yeah. Well,
10
just
people
weird
credit
things
cards.
like that, like applying our format to finance because it was like, I had that realization one day. I was like, I could make like 8 times the money for the same views if I just revolved it around finance stuff.
So what excites you the most for YouTube?
What excites me the most? Oh gosh, just blanket YouTube?
Yeah.
Everything. I mean, what doesn't? You know, uploading videos, the creator economy, and just is growing. YouTube's growing. Everything's growing. I mean, every part of it is great. Like the freedom you have to do whatever. YouTube is like, name a better industry right now. Like YouTube is just growing so much, and I don't think it's going to slow down.
What excites you about it the most? So not necessarily YouTube, with the process of making videos. Like, what do you get from it?
It's gonna sound weird because I just said this, but
Yeah.
I mean, like everything. Like if money, make videos. Fame, make videos. Happiness, make videos. Kind of like everything in my life currently that I want to improve kind of just revolves around just making videos. So the answer really is kind of everything for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a cop-out.
That's good. How do you stay focused?
For me, that's never really been a thing. It's almost, The problem I'm having right now is I struggle to wind down at night because I just work and I'll lay in bed and I'll think of ideas and I'll think of just like, what we could have done better, how we could have edited a video better, or finances or whatever. So it's actually not even staying. I'm a little too focused right now, which is something I always have to correct myself because I usually go to bed at like 4 a.m. Even though I get in bed at like 10 p.m., I'll sit there for like 6 hours on average right now. So I'm trying to like actually find ways to like pull back a little bit, and so I sleep a little bit better.
When is the moment that you realized that you could turn this into a business?
Oh gosh, that's a good question. So probably when I started making around $20,000, $30,000 a month is when it kind of clicked in my head that I could hire someone for a couple grand and basically double my output because I was doing everything, right? I was like building whatever. Like if I wanted to buy 5,000 plates and like throw it off a building and break them all, I'd have to order them all and I'd have to set them up, unpack them all, and like build a contraption, editing, camera. I was doing it all. I did that for the first 1,000 videos, and it kind of clicked in my head. I couldn't tell you which video. Maybe it was like how many rolls of duct tape does it take to stop a car or whatever. But I was just like, wait a minute. If I just had a helper, I could do this 2 times faster. I could upload twice as much. And if I'm doing 20, 30 grand a month in revenue and one person would double it and, I could hire a person for like 4 or 5 grand, it's kind of a no-brainer. And so then I just brought on a guy to help me move boxes and just help with the simple stuff. And I was like, oh, well, now let me go hire an editor. And that was game changer because although that took a very long time, like a year plus to train because it's very hard to find someone who understands your style. And then I got a cameraman and then just kind of snowballed from there. And then I just basically hired someone every month for the last like 6 years.
What's been the most difficult part to outsource?
The most difficult part to outsource? Everything. The channel is still my creative vision. It's like I'm the one who spent my entire life obsessing and building the brand and studying this and like, so like even editing, I still do like 10 revisions and I have a big hand in it. And the writing of the videos and like how the videos, I mean, nothing's like truly outsourced because like you can't just like go, here's my band, here's kind of the videos I want, just give me a video every week. Like if, because they haven't spent their entire lives obsessing over this, they don't know as much. So basically everything.
Have you ever had to fire anybody before?
Of course, yeah. It's never fun, but usually what happens is like you bring them on for something you think you need, and it's like, oh, we're going this path, and we're going to do videos where we, like donate to Twitch streamers or easier ones. And then next thing you know, you're doing Squid Game level videos, and those, are a little bit outside their skill set or whatever, because we're just changing so much. It's kind of hard to predict what we need. But, I mean, turnover happens everywhere. It's just kind of part of it.
Have you personally fired people, and how does that process go? Do you have someone else doing it?
Well, now we have HR, so obviously I don't have to handle it. But yeah, back in the day, usually I like to see it more as helping them transition to other companies. Like sometimes, we had one person who we moved out here and it didn't end up working out. And so, I was just like, what do you want to go do? Is there a different YouTuber you want to work for? And I just DM'd a bunch of other YouTubers, helped them get a job. It just kind of depends. Sometimes they want to go work for other YouTubers and I help them, or sometimes, what was it? One guy, he wanted to go work for Tyler, the Creator. And so I was like, I tried to get Tyler the Creator so I could be like, hey, this guy, I vouch, he's pretty good. So I like to see it more as like helping them transition to like whatever, their next career. Because like, there's no hard feelings. Whether you're here or somewhere else, I want them to be happy. So I try to set them up for success and just do whatever I can to, pay them back for what they invested in my company.
That's cool. How many hours do you work in a day?
Depends what you classify as work. The answer could be every hour I'm awake if just laying in bed thinking about YouTube is work. You know what I mean? Like, so just about, I would say since I was 11 years old, almost every waking hour of the day, I'm thinking of YouTube in some form or capacity, basically.
Why do you think you have that level of focus?
Just because that's what I love. I feel like it was almost like baked in my DNA. Like it just flows in my blood, the innate urge to create videos and to build a YouTube channel and build businesses. That's just what I do. And if I try to take time off, I just get depressed and I feel like I lose my sanity. But I also feel like I lose my sanity because we've cranked the treadmill so much on creating videos. So it's like weird, but if I'm not creating, then I don't feel fulfilled. I don't feel like I'm progressing. Then I feel like I'm wasting my time. And like, am I allowed to swear?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just kind of feel like a waste of space, like a piece of shit if I'm not like making videos, you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's interesting. I feel the exact same way.
Yeah.
Not necessarily with the making videos, but if I'm not working towards something or working on something, I feel terrible.
Exactly.
Like I have low energy, I just want to sleep, I don't want to do anything, I feel sad. But when you're in the zone, what do they call it? When you're in the zone? Yeah, it's being in the flow state.
Yeah.
When you're in that state where like time seems as though it's stopped entirely, and like a day went by. That's what I love. And there's something about that that opens up like some sort of creativity that most people don't get until they're in that place.
Agreed.
Do you know how many income sources you have?
That's an interesting one. Well, let's see. We have Beast Burger, Feastables. We have a company where we dub channels, which runs our MrBeast Espanol and stuff like that. We do that for other people. We have MrBeast, MrBeast Gaming, Beast Reacts. I mean, would you count MrBeast Espanol? Mm-hmm. Okay, well then MrBeast Espanol, MrBeast...
How many languages are there? Well,
a lot.
To summarize all the languages.
Okay, well then all the languages, which there's like 20 of those. And then, and they're starting to do more views than my English channels, which is crazy.
Wow, yeah.
And what else do we have going on?
Merch?
I feel like, yeah, merch is another one. It's kind of hard. I kind of forget the stuff we're doing. Honestly, I'd have to like open my bank account and look through it. Because like there's also like sub opportunities. Like we occasionally do things where like we built this app where we had people put their finger on the app. Yeah, so we're building other apps in the future. So probably somewhere around 10.
What would you say your main source of income is, if you were to pick one thing?
Gosh. But see, the problem is like, what does income even mean? Like I don't really make money. I just reinvest it all. So it's like, which one? And also, are we talking gross or are we talking profits? Because if it's gross, it's Beast Burger. Beast Burger is absolutely crushing it, but it's food, so the margins aren't as good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas like Feastables, the margins are a lot better, especially because we do a lot of sales D2C online, so it's just higher. Merch, the best margins, but you know, it's you just like a burger or whatever. You know, is something someone can order multiple times a week. Merch, someone going to buy like twice a year. You know what I mean?
What about sponsorships?
Oh yeah, and sponsorships. Yeah. Oh gosh, yeah, those have gotten crazy recently. Well, I would say so. Again, gross or profit, or well,
I
we
think
don't
we
even
should discuss both, and I'll pick and choose.
So gross, I guess, would be Beast Burger. I mean, yeah, Beast. I recently tweeted, so I'll say this because I tweeted. You can throw it up. That Beast Burger has done over 100 million in sales.
Wow.
And obviously that number has grown a lot bigger since then. So like, but again, it's because it's something people can repeatedly buy. And then, but actual money, I guess, would be brand deal / ad revenue. Well, if you include all the channels, then yeah, it's definitely ad revenue.
Could you walk us through a normal day? Like from wake up, like what does a day look like for
There's
you?
no such thing as a normal day, but I can pick some random days in the last month. So like, or actually here's some of our days coming up. So one of our videos coming up, we're gonna spend a night in a $1 hotel, and then like $1,000 hotel, $10,000, $50,000, $100,000, $200,000, $500,000, up to $1 million. So for example, next week, I'm gonna be flying to India to stay in like a $1 hotel, and then like a $10,000 hotel in the Maldives, and then we're going to like just whatever. We're going to be traveling all over the world. I'm going to be doing that for 2 weeks. And then when I get back, well, that means gaming and Reacts fall behind. So I'm going to have to do a whole day of catching up on our Reacts videos. I'm going to have to do a day or two catching up on our gaming videos. And then I've been gone. So now I got to spend a whole day catching up on the creative and all our other main channel videos. And then the video after that, we're going to do like the world's largest experiments. Like we're trying to make the world's largest balloon, world's largest paper airplane. So then go work on that. And I'm probably going to film a couple of those and then come back and you know, and then Beast Burger and Feastables are probably going to want my head on a platter because I just spent 2 weeks traveling, filming that video, and I haven't been talking to them as much. So then probably those meetings will probably fly into town, and then we have other companies. So it's kind of ebbs and flow. The main channel is the priority, and then around the main channel schedule, the rest of my life kind of like forms with all the other businesses.
Do you have any sort of daily routine though, like every morning?
No. I mean, like I'm going to be gone for 2 weeks, and then when I get back, like I'm doing the experiments, and then I got to play makeup on all the other companies, and then after that I got to go to I can't say where because I might spoil it, but I got to go somewhere else for a video, and then it's just different. And then next thing you know, I'm burying myself alive for 100 hours or whatever, and then that throws off it. And sometimes I sleep here, sometimes if I'm on the other side of the town working at the other studio, I sleep at that studio. It's like kind of hard, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Who keeps track of your schedule?
Steele, you met him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I tell whenever I want to do something, I'm like, hey, I need to meet with so-and-so tomorrow. I need to do this. He compiles it, and then every day just makes a prior list, and then we like to call it like block calling. Like if I have calls, like so today, if I have like 6 calls, instead of doing a call at 1, a call at 3, a call at like 5, or a call at 8, I like to just do them back to back to back. So like do a call at 1 and then have the other 4 on standby, and the second I finish that one, I jump on the next one at like 1:15, and then I jump on the next one 1:35. And so then it's much easier if the calls are stacked like that instead of like, oh, I got a call in 10 minutes and then waiting for the call and that kind of stuff. So I don't even know where I'm going with it, but I basically wake up and I dump all my stuff I need to do, and then he just kind of schedules and prios it on whatever is most important for the business, and then I just wake up and do what he tells me.
How far ahead are you planned on that?
Let's see. Well, I mean, my calendar is out till the end of the year, but
What are you doing 3 weeks from today?
we're going to be making the world's largest burger.
That's crazy you have it planned out like that.
Yeah, I know everything, every video we're filming on the main channel between now and the end of the year, we have. Because they're big projects. So if we're going to film a video in December, we got to start working on it now. So we're very far ahead.
Where would you say you spend most of your time? Is it filming, planning, scripting?
That's the problem, man. And that's why I wouldn't recommend someone do what I do, because it's stressful. It just depends. And, you know, if we do a gaming video where I survive 100 days of Minecraft, that's, what is that, like 30 hours in real time? So, because like a Minecraft day is 20 minutes. So like I could spend 30 hours playing Minecraft, and then, you know, the next week I'm building the world's largest firework, and I have to spend a week on that, and the next, you know, I got to go network or go to a conference. It is so sporadic and random, I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
But I guess for the most part, it's filming main channel videos. But those are just, they're different. Everyone's different. I'm either in a submarine or climbing Mount Everest or putting 100 people in a circle and see who leaves last.
I've been so curious. Could you walk us through the process of creating a video from start to finish? How do you think of ideas? Where does that start?
So I work very well off of inspiration. So I used to just like flip through a dictionary. I've told these stories before, random word generators, blah, blah, blah. Recently, I hired a bunch of people to just come up with interesting things or find things to inspire me. Like, let's say in Japan, there's this like yellow fruit that if you ate it, just like made you jump 10 feet taller, right? You don't know that exists. Let's say it does exist, but you don't know. So you couldn't come up with a video idea around eating that fruit because you don't know it's a thing. And so I think a big part of coming up with ideas, which again, I could give you the 5-hour explanation of how to do, we do our videos, or like the shorter ones, so I'm giving you the mile high. But for starters, I need as much, and I need to, I call it like an information diet. It might be a little cringe to call it that, but like my well of knowledge needs to constantly be expanding, so I have more things to draw inspiration from our ideas. If not, you're going to get the same ideas over and over again. So it happens for a lot of creators. That's why their videos are repetitive and always the same thing, because if you're not constantly learning new things, then your ideas are just limited to what's in your head, and eventually you're going to drain it. That's how I've seen it. It's not so linear. Point is, I need to always be taking things. So I have a team of people who are just helping just dump and beat new things in my head so I can get inspired. We do that, we come up with a good idea, and then from there, we, oh gosh, well then now we got to write the video, so I usually work with Tyler.
Have you found a process for scripting that you think like this format works? And
no,
how do you?
The problem is our videos aren't scripted, and B, every video is different, so like, so we'll do the hotel one. Problem with hotel one, you can't really like plan what you're gonna do or plan shots because you don't know what the hotels are. So then, you know, you kind of have to go then basically scrape every hotel in the world above a certain price point. So like we know we want to do $1 versus $1 million. So, you know, well, $1 hotel is very hard to find. So it's not like there's a website and you can't just Google it. So we had to like basically search all these hotels and like, you know, Airbnbs and house, there's like shared housing where you could get it down, which is how we got it. And then you got to find every $100 hotel and find the coolest one in the world, and then all the $10,000 ones. And now you have them all. And then now you can go look at it creatively and camera wise. And then you're like, oh, these aren't cool enough. These aren't cool enough. And it's like a lot of back and forth. And then, you know, you kind of plan it out, if that makes any sense. And then, oh, well, we need to film this 2-week window, but 5 of these aren't available. Now you got to go back to the drawing board and find all new ones, and then, you know, map out a path so you can fly around the world and it doesn't take like a month, you know what I mean? Stuff like that.
And then what about the filming process going to editing?
Yes. Well, that's where it gets crazy because, so you're using 3 cameras here. Well, I'll use boys versus girls, for example. I think we put 100 boys in a circle, 100 girls in a circle. I think we used 60 cameras on that video, which was wild. So we had 60 cameras running for 100 hours because it was a 100-hour challenge. Because we had to have cameras monitoring the red lines, every inch of it. Or if someone stepped out, we couldn't show it. Like 10 wides and then all the free roaming ones. And so we have a DIT who kind of like labels them all like this camera, and then we take notes while we're filming. So if I see something funny, I'll be like, hey, this time, because you can look at the time code, like this happened and this happened, like during this time lapse. Like one time we had like someone standing in the trash can and then it fell over and they touched the line and got out. Well, because we have so many cameras and so much time lapse and the editor can't watch every minute of footage, you have to like write that down so they can like go look at the time lapse, find that and put it in, or it'll just get lost in the abyss. You know what I mean?
Yeah. How many hours would you say it takes to edit the average video?
Hours. So our 100 million subscriber special, I think we were just doing the math. I think it was like collectively like 1,700 hours across all the editors. But that was a really, really big video.
Yeah.
But yeah, because we had to pull in a lot of firepower for that video. We used a lot of cameras, and I was very particular on how I wanted it. So we did so many revisions. Like the thing is, like I'm not the easiest to work with in that regard. Like I really want to make the video as good as possible, and so sometimes we'll edit a video a certain way, and then we'll just be like, well, what if we try this? And so we'll have to like basically re-edit the video to see if this other way produces a better story and if it flows better. And then we'll be like, oh, that's not as good. And then you go back to this one, and then we try this. And it's a lot of testing. So we usually edit a video like 5 or 7 times.
How many eyeballs look at that video before you get to see it? Because I'd imagine they show you a version that's close maybe to what's going to post.
Close to done.
Yeah.
And then I see it, and it's not close to done.
Okay.
But yeah, so it's usually just whichever person's editing it, and then Mario, the guy, our retention guy, who this is kind of the obvious stuff, because like there are a lot of. The thing is, we've done tons of videos, countless, especially across all the channels, like thousands of videos at this point. There are just a lot of things like I just don't want to have to keep repeating myself of like certain, like obviously, this wasn't fast enough, or this didn't flow well, or like kind of the obvious stuff. When I give notes, I want to, and work on the edit, I want to actually do high level things and not be like, oh, just the color here was off, or obvious things like that. It's just kind of a waste of time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
How many hours go into a title thumbnail? That's something that, for me, I could sometimes spend days on a title and thumbnail.
Well, once we pick it, not as many. Okay. But it's all in the front end. Like, picking the idea is, like, brutal. And I mean, I couldn't tell you. Hundreds, probably. And then, here, let me show you this. Yeah. So every thumbnail we do, we actually do, like, 7 versions of. So, like, this is for boys versus girls, or 100 boys versus 100 girls. This is, like, our upcoming video, like, 2 different ones. This is for the 100 million subscriber video. So the thumbnail we ended up going with was A1, but these were our backup options.
Wow. Now, A2, is that just a storyboard to kind of give the idea? Because that doesn't look like it would be the final thing, right?
Yeah, these are all storyboards.
Oh, wow.
Like, this was a storyboard for the final product.
Yeah.
I mean, and if we went with the house, because there was a house on the island, we would have just, like, gone there, shot source, and recreated it. And then we had an idea of me like being in a boat driving away from the island as the thumbnail.
Yeah. This might sound silly. Do you take the same picture and reuse it, or do you take a new thumbnail every time?
Of my face?
Yeah.
Oh, we have probably 1,000 different photos of my face. Yeah. The interesting thing is I recently cut my hair very short in a video because I failed a challenge. And then we went to make a thumbnail the next video, and it just didn't look like me. Yeah. Like, because a lot of people just recognize me for having bangs. So even though I have short hair, my thumbnails still have me with long hair because more people recognize it. And I thought that was funny.
I think that's cool. Do you ever take days off?
Yeah, of course. The thing, so the way I like to work, and I don't recommend you guys try this. So schedules don't really work well for me. I'm in the zone and I like to go hard. I'm very obsessive. I like to just give in to my a lot of people will work 5 days a week and they won't work weekends, and ambitious people will try to like restrain themselves and be like, this is a schedule, can't work Saturday, can't work Sunday. That just never works for me. I always end up caving. So I found giving into my natural instinct works best. So I just work every day, every hour of the day, until I just burn out. So like I'll work all day Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I'll keep going. And then usually around day 10, I'll wake up and I'm just like burnt. I'm like, I can't keep going. It's too much. Like I can't keep doing these like 12, 15 hour days. And then I'll take like half a day or maybe a day, depending on how severe it is, and I'll just chill. And I'll just kind of like nuke my calendar. And then by the next day, I'm fired up and I'm ready to go. And then I just do it again. And so it's weird, but that's what works really, really well for me. Anytime I try to stick to a schedule, it just doesn't work. Because there are certain Saturdays I'm just fired up, and like God himself couldn't stop me from going and working on a video. And then there are other Saturdays where I'm burnt out. And so, yeah, I just kind of give in to my emotions and just work when I want to, which is usually like 7 to 10 days in a row, and then just like take a little break till I'm ready, which is usually like half a day or a day.
That's really cool. How many people work for you?
Oof, loaded question. Do we count the people working in the Beast Burger restaurants or no?
No.
Okay.
I would say just here. Because it seems like I met a lot of people from your team.
Yeah,
and
well, that number's a little classified.
So involved. Okay.
It's getting big. It's definitely getting big. I'd say in general, right, between Feastables and all the stuff we're doing, like full-time salaried, probably 150 people, maybe 200, just kind of depends. So a lot of like part-time jobs and secondhand jobs that are spun off, and that's where it gets into like the hundreds, but yeah.
Would you be able to draw a flow chart for us in terms of you at the top, controlling everything? Who's underneath you? Who's underneath them?
The only problem is if I did that, there are tons of people that just copy everything I'm doing on YouTube currently. Like I breathe, and like 30 other channels try to do it, and I don't want. And I say this about
That's fair,
ideas, don't copy me, but they do it anyways. If I did that, all these YouTubers would start trying to clone it, and then they're just going to become mini-me's. And it's like, a lot of people, for some reason, have stopped taking inspiration and doing their own twists, and they just literally flat out copy what I do. And so that's why I'm like, when you ask about people or stuff like that, I try not to say too much, because I know hundreds of creators are just going to be like, that's it. That's what I'm doing. I need 50 people. I'm going to build it like this, and then I'm going to do what MrBeast does, Yeah.
But you would employ a lot of people that way. If all of a sudden the unemployment rate goes to like 1% because everyone's hiring.
Yeah, true. But
That
the
would be
big
funny,
thing
yeah.
is you need a production department to make the ideas happen. You need creative people to think on it. Obviously, camera and editing. Those are your big four.
How do you think the money is best spent for the channel in terms of growth?
Yes. Okay. How do I think it's best spent? Just making the best YouTube videos possible. I mean, if we want to sell more Feastables bars or merch or get better brand deals, it all literally just stems around, people watching the videos, which is...
Does that go back then to more idea creation, or do you think it's higher retention, so better specialists, or I guess
it's
more
not that
involved?
kind of stuff.
Okay.
It's more like those things help, but it's not like at the end of the day, like it's like we put 100 girls in a circle versus 100 boys, $500,000 cash prize, build these crazy sets, all the effort. That's a big part of why it does well, right? Sure, we can tweak a little bit here and there and remove a pee joke so it's a little bit more watchable and do this little thing. But at the end of the day, it's like, that's not why people are coming back, and that's not what makes it great. That's just a little icing on top. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like the money is best spent in like just doing grander things that I find interesting, that are unique, original, and like people just, how I would put it, can't find anywhere else. So you can't find what we do, for the most part. Some videos here and there, but for the most part, you can't find what we do anywhere else, not at the scale we do. And I think it's like, that is where I want to put the money in, because then that's what gets people coming back, they enjoy it, and then everything else benefits.
Do you know how much it costs in terms of running your overall business every month? Just like a ballpark number.
Oh gosh, yes. So, it's just a MrBeast channel, gaming, reacts, Feastables,
Everything
Beast
under
Burger?
the umbrella.
Oh gosh, I mean,
Could be a round number. I mean,
yeah,
this is
because
just
like
the-
even like
yeah.
so like Feastables is about to go into retail, and like even just that, like we just filled like a $4 million purchase order so we can buy enough bars to fill retail.
Yeah.
So you want me to slap that on there
Yeah,
too?
slap it on.
I mean, bro, who's calling me? This is like the intense moment. Eric's calling. Bro, hey, we're talking YouTube money. Go away.
What are you talking
Eric.
Yeah,
about?
Yo, not right now, man.
Whoa.
How's it going?
Who's that?
We're filming. It's Graham.
Who's this?
It's Graham.
Oh, Graham.
What's up, man?
Hey, Graham, can you ask Jimmy a question for me?
What's the question?
Can you ask if it worked out today?
The answer is we're playing soccer right after this interview. More importantly,
Yeah.
Everything was massive, so.
Eric,
Hey-
tell them to subscribe.
Eric, how much money do you make a year? It's making in the video.
How many money? Wait, you cut out. What'd you say?
How much money do you make a year?
Oh. Multiple millions. I don't know the exact number.
Oh my gosh! Wow, what a rich snobby guy! Wow.
I'm so abundantly grateful for all of my fans.
It's to build the world.
Exposed, Eric exposed. He's a millionaire.
He just wants to use it
much
to
money do you
make his
make?
pizza.
A lot.
Okay.
Well, I would say it, but now if I sit on the back end, it sounds like I'm trying to be a dick. Okay.
You gotta cut mine out if you don't say how much money you make.
Yeah, I mean, tens of millions or something like that. Forbes said I made 54 million last year. Okay, I gotta go. Later.
All right, bye. Bye.
Gosh, he's calling it the most crucial part.
I know.
All
So
right.
how much do we spend a year? So
Or in a month.
yeah, or sorry, in a month. So the main channel, let me see. The main channel is probably like on the gaming channel. We probably are spending like I don't know, depends, like a couple 100,000 a month. Reacts, a couple 100,000 a month. The main channel now, probably like 3 or 4 million a month. Like Feastables is spending probably $1 million or so a month. Beast Burger, same thing. I mean, if you're including like marketing and stuff, a couple million a month. And then, yeah, I mean, we're probably spending like, I haven't even done this math in a while, but yeah, frick, like probably $7 or $8 million. I mean, even like our Beast Philanthropy, our charity, you know, I put a lot of money into that so we can have food and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's getting pretty crazy.
Who manages that?
Well, if you go over there up those stairs, you'll see a little accounting team that I walk in and I go, I want to give 100 people $100,000. They go, you're crazy. And I'm like, good luck.
Do they make sure that money is like put aside just for you, like just in case something happened? No?
What?
Yeah.
But the thing is, we have 100 million subscribers.
Yeah.
People have been saying that since I had 1 million subscribers, and I always just like, what's the? I don't want to say what's the worst that happened. I guess I get hit by a car, but I mean, the videos get views even if I don't upload. So like, if I really wanted to, I could just stop spending and just live off the money the views make. You know what I mean?
Are you investing any of your own money separate from everything else? Like, do you take any of it for yourself, put it off to the side, and invest
I
it?
reinvest everything. I want to just literally all I want to do is make the best videos possible.
Yeah.
That's why I live in the studio right over there. So I don't I'm not worried about paying for a mansion. I don't drive a Lamborghini. I purposely have a really like dumbed down lifestyle. So because it gives you freedom. Like, you know, most people can't reinvest in a business because when they get to this level, they're worried about their $10 million mansion. They're like 4 or 5 cars and insurance and keeping up with that. And then like their second home and all these other things. I just cut it all out. I have no like personal debt or like things, you know, that I have to pay for. So I can just go all in on the business because it's like, it doesn't even matter. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Can you talk about maybe investing in NFTs or crypto if you want to talk about that?
Literally all I do is I invest in my videos right now. So I actually don't even do any investing on the side. Back in the day, you know, I bought a little bit of Bitcoin and did pretty good, but then I ended up just dumping it back into the videos. So
Do you have a credit card?
You would have to ask the team over there. I know I mentioned opening up my bank account earlier, but I don't even know the login to it. I don't know it. I just know I see the YouTube check come in, and then at the end of the month, they just go, here's how much money you have. You're poor. And they're like, stop spending so much. And I go, okay. And
so if we looked at your personal bank account, would there be just like a few $100 in there?
No, it's not that bad. The thing is, you know, it's my YouTube channel. If I want to, I can just pull money out. Yeah. So if I needed, let's say we went to Vegas, like Ludwig invites me to a poker game. Like obviously, in the buy-in, I think was like 50 grand. Like obviously, I'm just gonna pull 50 grand out and go play in it. So it's not like I don't have access to capital if I need it. You know what I mean? Yeah. I just, like in the last probably 20 days, I've only left the studio once. I just live here. Like I don't really need money for other things. You know?
Cool. These are the more interesting questions that I'm personally interested in. How do you plan to expand the business?
Ooh, that's where it gets fun. Oh boy. Well, I think for starters, you know, I just want to keep making the best videos possible. I have to reiterate, I'm going to sound like a broken record, but everything I do stems from that. Because if I stop making the best videos, people stop watching, and then Feastables is irrelevant, Beast Burger is irrelevant. All the companies are just literally irrelevant. So that, and then stemming off from that, next I really want to get into making mobile games. I think that'd be a lot of fun because we have a gaming channel that gets like 20 million views a video. We did the Finger on the App challenge. We had 2 million concurrent players, and I didn't even mention it in a video. That was just like on Twitter and Instagram.
I think Jack tried it.
Yeah. So
Maybe that's like a couple hours.
yeah, but so that was kind of a case study. Like I can get millions of people to play a game. So I want to build mobile games. I think that'd be a lot of fun. And then I really want to scale up Feastables, launch new products. We're going to launch cookies, and then next I want to do like I don't want to say what's after that, but it'll be a great product. And then Beast Burger, we're getting into building physical locations. So in 2 weeks we open our first physical Beast Burger. We have 2,000 virtual. We're building that, and then based on how that goes, I want to build 10, and then 50, and then 100 physical locations, and just keep leveraging the brand.
Do you think there could be a work-life balance?
Yes, well, not if you want to grow as quick as we are. No, I mean, because at the end of the day, if I stop filming on the main channel, the videos stop going up. If I stop filming on Reacts, the videos stop going up. Beast Philanthropy, they stop going up. TikTok, they stop going up. You know what I mean? So all that centers around me, and then all the side businesses center around me. But yeah, if I wanted to, I could just not build a snack brand. I could just not do a restaurant, and I could just not do a mobile game company, and I could just not do a gaming channel and a React channel, and I could just do my main channel. I'd probably be way happier and have way more free time. But that's just not who I am. And it sounds weird, but it's just ingrained in me. Those are the things that like get me up and get me out of bed. And like when I don't do them, I'm depressed. So I like pushing myself, and I see it as a sport and like going hard in business and building them. Even though it's stressful and it's very difficult, and like sometimes I'm like, you know, you have a mental breakdown. You're like, why am I doing this? Why did I push myself so hard? But then when you're not doing it, you're just depressed. So it's like a weird system, a weird situation, but I love it. But sometimes I don't, and here I am.
Do you ever get anxious randomly, or just worried about
all the time? Yeah, because you're just like, oh, should I be working on this business? Is this the best use of my time? Should I be doing this? Blah blah blah. This blah blah that. 100%. Yeah.
How do you deal with that?
I just
You just do.
I just keep on working. I'm not the best for advice like this. You guys should actually get advice from someone that's not a 24-year-old idiot that's only built businesses his entire life with no social skills.
Do you think eventually you want a family and kids, or do you think
that's an interesting question? Family and kids. So here's the thing: Elon has kids. Steve Jobs.
9 of them.
Yes, he does. Steve Jobs has kids. Bill Gates has kids. All these ultra successful people. Not that I want to be them or whatever, but in general, I just like view building business as a video game, and you know, it's kind of fun. And so all these really successful people have kids. So I used to in the past be like, heck no, they're a waste of time. But then you see all these people who, you know, time's worth more money than anyone else in the world, an hour of their time, but they justify it, and you know, they say even the most obsessed people you can find still say it's, you know, having kids brings them the most joy in their life. So. Yeah, it's just like the thought of devoting that much time to someone for at least 18 years is like so scary. And it's like opportunity cost-wise, not optimal. But all these other successful people do it and they don't regret it. Like I can't really find anyone who really has. So I don't know. I'm kind of like in that weird area where I'm still trying to figure out like, would it make me fulfilled? And would that be the one thing where I could be, where, you know, it takes me away from the business? Like if I raising someone and investing my life in a mini version of me and programming its brain to be a little genius, is that something I would enjoy enough where I wouldn't mind basically setting aside 18 years of my life from the business, you know?
What do you worry about? Is there anything that goes through your mind where?
No, I'm not really that kind of person. Anything that's out of your control, it's kind of a waste of your time to worry about, you know what I mean? So if it was in your control, fix it. If not, make a mental note and move on.
Cool. This is an interesting one. What's your biggest insecurity?
Biggest insecurity? Well, right now, you know, we're putting all these monies into these videos, and I would say like storytelling. I love storytelling, but like our videos are very fast paced, and so sometimes you do have to give up a little bit of the story in order to keep the videos moving. And I feel like I'm a pretty good storyteller, but I've always taken pride in that, but especially more recently, like a lot of people say like, oh, the videos are too quick, or MrBeast just isn't a great storyteller. He's just good at making things move fast and spending money. And, you know, that stuff, I ignore it, so it doesn't matter. But I guess of anything, it would be that. Like, a lot of people think the only reason we get views is because I just throw money at it, and they don't realize that, you know, we spent a decade just studying what does well, you know, studying, figuring out our own style, figuring out our own way to do things, and the amount of hours I put into like just expanding the inspiration of my brain just so I can come up with original ideas, and the months on months we spend building the sets and working on it, and the weeks we spend editing and all this, and then, you know, they're just like, oh, he just spent money. That's it. There's nothing special. You know what I mean?
Is there anything that you think that I didn't ask that you think the audience would want to hear, or that you want to share? Because this is more finance, business oriented.
Of course.
And so it's a different audience that I feel like you could share something that maybe that they didn't think of, or that you feel like more people should know.
YouTube, I've said this before, but maybe because your audience might not have listened to me before, I think YouTube is only going to grow bigger and bigger because it comes pre-installed on Android. You know, Google funnels people to it. Alphabet owns all this. So almost every area of the internet points to YouTube. So I think YouTube's going to keep growing, and at least like the next 5 to 10 years. I think it's going to, like, in 10 years, YouTube's going to be bigger than television ever was for culture, in America at least, in my opinion. And so I think a lot of people underestimate that, and I don't think people really understand just how, like, to be one of the top creators on the biggest social media platform and that will also be the biggest in 10 years during that whole time. Like the amount of value and how crazy that is. Like you don't need a network, you don't need to go through people. You just are. You can do whatever you want, and you can influence people how you want. It's just wild. It's mind blowing, and you can leverage that to build businesses or like do things like Beast Philanthropy or whatever. I think like people don't realize just how crazy it is that you have. I don't even know where I'm going with it, but like how much influence the top YouTube channels have. Like for us, we have 100 million people on average that watch almost everything we put up. If you include non-English and English, everything we do, 100 million people will watch. When has someone else ever had that kind of power without having to go through a network or anything? I just upload whatever I want. I could upload a black screen, you know what I mean? Yeah. And hit tens of millions of people. It's crazy.
Does that ever worry you that you have that much influence on so many people?
No. I think we did Team Trees, we do Team Cs. Typically, our stuff centers around doing good. And no, actually, it excites me because especially like on our Beast Philanthropy channel, so we started a food pantry, a charity, 501c, and we make videos around it, and we use the money from those videos to fund the charity. And I cover all the costs of the videos, so it's 100% profit that goes into the charity, which is a nonprofit, which is a huge cash sink. But that channel alone, like I've had hundreds of parents, probably even 1,000 at this point, that I meet in a Walmart or I meet out or whatever, just tell me stories of like their kids watch that, and then when they get tooth fairy money, they want to go donate it to charity, or like their little 12-year-old kid wants to go volunteer because they watched a Beast Philanthropy video, etc. And I see thousands of tweets, maybe not thousands, hundreds of tweets like that a day. And so, no, I feel like we're doing a good job in inspiring people to care. And maybe it could be perfect, but in general, I feel like compared to other stuff, we're doing a pretty good job.
Who do you look up to the most?
Who do I look up to the most?
I mean, I think Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, Bill Gates.
Yeah, the thing is, you got to do a caveat with them. Because Steve, as inspiring as he is, was a little bit of an asshole. Yeah. And so I think this is the thing that I don't think everyone understands. You can look up to someone without idolizing everything they do. There's never been a perfect human on this earth. Anyone, I don't care. You could pick anyone you look up to. Someone could find something wrong and be like, Graham, why do you look up to them? One time they lied. You know what I mean? Anyone, doesn't matter who they are. So I do look up to Steve, but I actually think like if he was nicer, I think he would have been more successful, to be honest. Like I don't think him being mean to his employees and so ruthless is why he was so successful. So that out the way, yes, it's definitely Steve Jobs. His just unrelenting passion with making the best product ever. This is the #1 product in the history of mankind. There's never been a higher grossing product ever that's created by someone. The iPhone. Yeah. Billions, right, have been sold. It's wild. And so, it's just his unrelenting focus on an obsession of making the best product possible, not conceding, quality. I love that he also left Apple, became a billionaire at Pixar, and was just such a creative genius that he could help. Obviously, he didn't do it all, but help make Toy Story and all those other films. And that's actually how he became a billionaire. Yeah. And then Apple had to buy Next just to bring him back, and you literally can see it right when he comes back. It takes off. Obviously, he had the secret sauce, and he knew what he was doing. And the fact that when he came back, he cut all the products. So inspiring. Just a laser-like focus and obsession is just kind of what I aim to implement in our videos, because it's just beautiful to see.
How do I get people to subscribe who are watching this right now? How do I convince them?
Well, the easiest thing is just to tell them, right? If you upload a video, let's say that gets 1 million views, and you don't say to subscribe, you might on average get a couple thousand. But if you go, hey, you should subscribe right now, that, a lot of people who wouldn't have done it because they just didn't think of it are now thinking about it, and it will convert to like 10 or 20,000. So literally just say it and you're good.
Jack, I think, has a few things he wants to ask you.
Okay. So you always say you want to make the best video possible. But by best, what exactly do you mean? Do you mean strictly just views?
No, it's literally just whatever makes the audience happiest. That you could interchange it. Whatever makes the viewer happy. When you click on a video, I want to give you whatever emotion we're trying to convey. If it's like helping people and we're trying to make you be like, oh, or like intensity when I'm running from the FBI, whatever that is, I just want to make it as good of a viewing experience as possible.
Now, question for you. What if you could reach 500 million people that see that video that are moderately happy, or you get 50 million people who are really happy who watch that video?
Oh, gosh. I've never had someone ask me that before. Reach a smaller, dedicated 500. I mean, the thing is, if you're reaching 500 million people, naturally there's going to be a 10% subsection of it that is really happy. So I would just pick the 500 million.
So the larger number, assuming that of the larger number, a smaller
Of course,
portion
because you
will
don't
be-
get the larger numbers without building dedicated fan base. But yeah, no matter what, like if you get 1 million views a video, not all 1 million are hardcore fans, but there are going to be hardcore fans as a subsection. And the bigger the gross number, assuming the content doesn't suck, the bigger the dedicated.
Would you ever do a vlog of just behind the scenes, just
I kind of
throughout your
did
day?
when I didn't eat for 30 days.
Yeah.
Yes, that was kind of it. Obviously, I cut out a lot of my life,
Yeah.
but yeah.
I've noticed, by the way, I think that was the only video that didn't go on trending.
I didn't even notice, but you're right, it did.
I check every single one of your videos. Because
Really?
I notice always within 6 to 12 hours, it's #1 on trending.
Interesting.
When you posted that video, I was like, oh crap, how is YouTube going to respond to that?
Do you know how much
Yeah.
#1 trend? Oh gosh, well YouTube hates me for this. Do you know how much #1 trending for a day
Very
gets you in
little.
views? How many?
Wait, how many in terms of a percentage?
So like if you get #1 trending on YouTube and it sits there for like half a day, how many views do you think you'll get?
I was #2 once, and I noticed the view changed by about 10%.
Okay.
It wasn't much.
Well, I can tell you because I mean we've had hundreds of videos on
Yeah.
it. Like what the median view is.
Yeah.
It's around 1 million views.
That's the change?
Yeah, that's just what you'll get. From when you go on trending to when you fall off, if you get up to #1, it's like 1 million views.
But for you, I mean, that would be
It's not
1.5%, 2%.
Yeah, but the thing is that's great is, and this is why I do like it. Please keep giving me it, or whoever. Is it's a lot of new viewers. So it's not your typical people who've seen it. So what you'll see is they come in, they watch a video, and then you can search their username like 2 hours later. So they'll be like, oh, I've never seen your channel before. I just found it on trending. And then like 2-3 hours later, search their name again, and they'll be like, I just watched 20 videos. I didn't know this existed. Like, how do you give away this? What is this channel? This is crazy. And so that's why I like things like even your audience, like doing this. Not that this is why I'm doing it. You're just a cool guy and it's fun to hang out with you. But like you'll bring people over, and a viewer from you is like better than like 10 of my viewers coming back because your guy hasn't seen our channel before. So he might go watch 100 videos, whereas the 10 coming back might only watch 1 or 2 because they've seen the rest. Does that make sense?
I love that video, by the way, but when I saw it, I was so worried that YouTube wouldn't want to recommend it.
Yeah.
Because they would be worried about people imitating that and be like, well, I'm not going to eat now for 31 days.
We had tons of disclaimers and we had a doctor throughout
Yeah.
it. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, honestly, the retention on it wasn't as good as normal. So the video's not doing as well, but I think I just didn't. I had never done a long vlog like that. And the problem is after like day 9, I just stopped filming as much because I was so hungry and I just was so tired that like day 9 to like 14, there was no footage. And like even like day 6, I just didn't record it. I was just like, good morning. And that was like all I had.
Yeah.
So that if I could do it over again, I would have just vlogged better. And I think I could have made the video like 10
Vlogging
times
is really
better.
difficult. We wanted to vlog some of the trip, and we vlogged the first night like really well. And
You just
then-
forget.
Yeah, exactly.
There's other stuff that goes on.
Yeah, you just. But I don't want to film in the moment. Like when you're in there, you don't want to be. Oh wait, really quick,
Exactly.
and take it in your
Yeah.
phone. It ruins it. So I
Yeah.
get that. But I think if you were to do some sort of personal vlog, just from your own standpoint, with no one else around, just you holding a camera,
Yep.
people would love that and get to know you
Oh, I
behind there.
100% agreed. My only problem is that I'd show the behind the scenes of this operation a lot, and I think we talked about this on the main channel video we did for you. Is people just copy everything I do, and I'm like, I'm trying to like tell these other people who like people call MrBeast clones, like take inspiration but don't just copy. And people would to a T just do what I do every day, and there'd just be like 30 of me running around, little me's that just don't put as much time in or money in because they just think fast cuts is all we do, and you know.
Do you ever worry about? I watched a video. It's called the MrBeastification of YouTube. Did you see this video?
Yeah, actually, I reached out to him and talked
Really?
to him. Yeah, he was really cool.
It was so entertaining. It was a 40-minute long video,
Yeah.
and I love this guy's analytics of how he broke it down. Do you ever worry that it's going to get too saturated? Now, I know you could always one-up, and you could always make the videos better, but do you worry that style is I don't want to say outplayed, but too many people are doing it, it's becoming too common, and now you have to change to adapt?
The only thing is, no one's doing it at our scale, with our creativity, our originality, our effort. Like most of these people, they literally think the only thing that makes my videos good is that I just cut them quick, and they're just like cut, and they think that's why we get 100 million views a video. They don't, they don't spend months, thinking of ideas, and like I talked about before, like studying new things so you can get better inspiration, so you can come up with more original ideas. And then, sometimes we work on videos for 6 to 8 months, and all that time and effort we put into it, and our average video is around $1.2 million right now. And so the money, and then we usually, sometimes, like the hotel video, we're gonna be filming for 2 weeks straight. So all that production time, all that money, all that effort, all the time on the front end with originality, and then we spend weeks editing it across, 7 to 10 revisions. Like, that's why the videos do well. Not because we just go, cut, and I just throw money, you know what I mean? And so, no, because the Mr. Beastification, which by the way, I love the video, and he was actually really nice. I reached out to him, he's a really great guy. But no, none of them do it right. Like, they usually copy like 1 or 2 aspects, but we're still the only place where you can get the full picture, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Do you think that the current style of content that you're producing right now is going to be able to last forever, like the massive spectacle type content? Because YouTube kind of goes through the ebb and flow of like, maybe this style of content's performing well and now this style. Do you think that the current style is going to last a long time?
No, I don't think like just what we're currently doing is going to be relevant forever. But that's the beauty, because we just adapt and innovate. I'm not hard set on anything. I just love creating, you know what I mean? So like, I used to do these videos where I donate to Twitch streamers. Like, I would just go open up their random Twitch streams, I'd donate 10 grand and say nothing, and then just watch them freak out. People loved it. We did like 12 of those. They all went super viral. They were getting tons of views. People were begging for more, but I was like, 12's enough. There's plenty. That's like 2 hours of content. Like, you don't really need that many more. And so I pivoted and I stopped doing them, even though people wanted them. And then I started doing Last Sleeps. People love that. They're like, oh, never mind, forget the Twitch stuff. This is cool. And we did a bunch of those. And now I occasionally do them when I come up with a really big idea. And and then the thing is, like, the getting hunted by FBI. Did you see that one? And the bounty hunter and stuff. And then I pivoted and did that. You just always pivot and change it up. I'm not hard set on anything. The content I'll be making in 5 years is different than the content I'm making now. And the content I'm making now is different than the content I made a year ago and a year ago and a year ago. And it's always going to change. I think that's how you stay relevant. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think Ryan Trahan really threw a curveball with YouTube and his 30-day penny series. I started watching, I think, around day 12.
Yeah.
Never watched it before in my life, but starting day 12, I watched every single video. I couldn't tell you what was so special about it, but just seeing his firsthand experience and him spending no money. And I think I appreciated that like anybody could do this if they really wanted to.
100%. So 2 things on that. There are tons of viral ideas that people can do that don't require money. It does not require money to go viral. Like, at one point, one of my most viewed videos was like spending 24 hours in a desert. We just grabbed a tent and some stuff and we went in the desert. And it got like 60, 70 million views. I have so many videos where we spent hardly any money, like the no food one, or I'd have to pull up the channel and go through it, that have gotten tens of millions of views, and they would have gotten 10 plus million views even on a small channel. So people who say, oh, well, I could be MrBeast if I had money. Well, A, I didn't start off with money. I was poor. I had no money, and it took me like 7 years just to buy a camera, saving up from YouTube. And B, some of our most viewed videos, literally, like anyone could do. Like, maybe spend a little bit less on a tent, but still, it's not that expensive. Yeah. But back to the Ryan thing, I agree. I think what Ryan did was, like, remember, there used to be like the Logan Pauls and the Caseys and all these vloggers, but vlogging died because it was repetitive, boring, and to be honest, like, there's only so much interesting stuff you can do in a 24-hour period, and if you have to do that every day, it's just like almost impossible to like make it interesting. So that kind of died off, and then you kind of have like the rise of what we have and like spectacles and just cool things that people go, oh my gosh, that's crazy. And so he kind of blended it together. He was the first person I've ever seen that made what I call modern vlogging. Like, he took the old format of vlogging that people used to love. Like, Casey would get millions of views of video, Logan would get millions of views of video, Jake, Roman out would go down the list. So clearly, there's an innate reason we liked vlogging before it got stale. So he found the way to do vlogging, but with an overarching goal that makes it interesting. So now, and then like the great reset, you don't know if next video he's gonna get started back to zero. He has to literally make the money to buy the plane ticket, to then make money to live off of and sleep. And so it's also very interesting, engaging. So there's like an overarching through story. It's like each video is interesting. You don't know if he's gonna restart, if he's gonna be able to feed himself, and there's a giant payoff at the end. There's an incentive to keep watching him coming here and surprising me. So that is what I would call modern vlogging, and he's the first person to kind of crack the code. The only thing is, I don't know, which is why I'm excited to see his next series and his next one. I don't know how you keep keep doing that over and over again. A big part of it is very taxing on him, revolving around him, and I'm super curious to see what the next one is.
How strategic is it for you to bring on your friends?
Ooh, like Chris, Chandler, Carl, and them.
Yeah, this is Jack's. Jack
Yeah,
gets
okay,
credit
so-
for this. Or Jack brought that up. Like, oh wow, that is interesting.
I was just curious because in the beginning it was mainly just you, and then obviously
Yep.
like brought on Chris, and then from there you went to just basically your own friend group, and
Yeah.
then from there now you're just doing a bunch of random people. Is there any reason from this like gradual change from just you into like a group of people that you
Well,
don't
it
even
depends. So are you talking about like the core boys that are in every video, or are you talking about the contestants?
I feel like a lot of the time the videos now they include the contestants or just like a lot of
Yes,
other
but
people.
the thing is, the only people that are consistent in every video are Nolan, Carl, Chris, Chandler, and like so those guys are there just because we're friends and because the sheer like the hotels. We're about to be flying around the world for 2 weeks. Like we would go crazy, So it's like we don't cast and churn through 1,000 different people and blah blah. It's literally just like if Chris went out and got a new best friend today, they'd probably start popping in the videos. It's just kind of how it works. Assuming they also get along well with Carl and Chandler and me. So like it was just me and Chris at the start, and then and then Chandler was our janitor, and Chris and Chandler just occasionally hung out, and so then I was like, okay, well. Chandler's his friend, so we put Chandler in a video, and the fans loved him, and he, and he got along well with us, and there you go. Now it's me, Chris, and Chandler, and then Carl was one of our editors, and then Chris and him just became inseparable. It's funny. That's how Chris is the hardest person to find friends for.
Yeah.
So if someone hits it off with Chris and they actually like hanging out, then I'm like, yes, we struck gold, because it's pretty easy for everyone else to like them, and so they started becoming friends, and so then we were just like Chris just didn't want to film unless Carl was holding the camera, and eventually I was just like, okay, well, we just put him on camera, and it was great. The audience loved him, turned out well, and then Nolan's just been a friend of mine for like 5 years. Like as long as they're friends with everyone, I think that natural camaraderie and just flow just shows on camera, and I think that's the most important thing, because you can't fake friendship, you know what I mean? If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I know you spoke a lot about scrapping your videos, and you said this on like a lot of different podcasts.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, are there any recent video ideas that you've scrapped?
Oh boy. The problem is, our videos are getting so expensive, and I reinvest so much of the money that I can't afford scraps like I used to. It's a lot easier to scrap a $100,000 video than a $2 to $3 million video.
Yeah.
But like the island video, for example, we went out there, got the 100 contestants down there, terraformed the island, went to film it. It was terrible. Like there's a lot of bottlenecks, like importing stuff to the Bahamas. There was problems there. The pier got ripped away because of waves. I didn't like the way certain parts of the island, so we had to move a couple hundred trees so it looked better on the beach scene. And so we ended up not filming it, but we spent like $2 million like doing it all. And then and then we ended up going back a month later because we just needed way more time to terraform the island. So usually now the videos are so big that if I scrap it, we just refilm it later. But most of the money, it sucks because most of the money you don't really recoup. So it's like, whatever. I'm trying to really get it down because it's brutal, like losing $1 million or $2 million.
Wow. And all of the videos that you have scrapped in the past, do you think that there would be any good reason to post those on YouTube, even if it's on a different channel, so you don't want to post on the main
Ludwig.
channel?
Yeah, Ludwig's
like,
channel.
I saw
yes.
that.
It's
That
Ludwig's
was
most viewed video.
Unexpected. I was watching his video. I was like, wait, what? That is cool.
Yeah.
Because it's like a little Easter egg.
That's probably, if I
Yeah.
scrap a video in the future, I'll probably just auction it off. Or
Really?
or upload it on someone else's channel. I mean, yeah, I could upload it on MrBeast too and make a little money, but I don't know. I feel like it's funnier to upload it on Ludwig's channel.
I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I watched
I mean,
it.
I lost $1 million,
Yeah.
but hey, at least we got a funny joke.
Gosh, that's cool.
Do you ever feel imposter syndrome with all of your success? Sometimes like maybe you weren't deserving of it or anything?
Imposter syndrome. So I think I did at one point. Like, it's still, if I walk in a Walmart and like 30 people follow me around, I'm like, oh, when I feel that, actually, the only time I really feel it is like when we get a Make-A-Wish, because now that we're really starting to get big, we get those quite a bit. And I'm like, of all the people on the planet, like, why me? You know what I mean? And so I tell them, like, don't give them their wish back. Like, I'll send them a video saying hi and, talking to them or whatever, but don't waste their fucking wish on me. That makes me feel horrible. So I guess in that sense, I kind of feel it.
I want to get your advice from me. I feel like I've kind of tapped out in terms of what I could do on YouTube. I know there's something bigger. I don't know what it is yet, but YouTube is going so well with everything that I don't want to stop what I'm currently doing.
Yep.
But I don't feel the same passion as I did 3
boy.
years ago. But
Okay.
it's going so well. So when you look at the numbers, everything is the best it's been. But I feel like there's something else. I don't know what that is, and I'm having trouble finding that.
So your flame's going out a little bit.
It is, but I want to continue with the same path that I have.
Well, I mean, the answer is you just got to take risks. Like, whatever it is that you got to take calculated risks that you're confident in. Just like, you know, for me, like the analogy I said before, when we did all those Twitch donation videos, it was getting tons of views, but I just knew, like, this will get stale. I'm going to jump ship before it gets stale, and I'm just going to do the next best thing. I mean, you have to be a little bit of a visionary and figure out what's the next evolution of it. I think you should do something where, like, I think we talked about this like a year ago. You should like get $100,000 from me and then like invest it, and then we do a video together in a year to see if you made me money or not. Like, that would be interesting. Or you know, maybe you get a bunch of other financial channels together and you each like take $100,000, you all invest it, and then you lock it. And then you see who made the most in a year, and you all get together. That would be like a next level Super Bowl type collab. You know what I mean? If you and the 5 other biggest financial channels did that, and it was like a competition, and whoever made the most got all the money. Like, that's the kind of stuff that you would probably enjoy. Your audience would love. It'd get tons of people talking, cross promotion, every way. It's probably a win. Could you imagine if you did that?
I'm worried that the audience really cares about up-to-date news and like quick stuff, that they wouldn't have the attention span to watch.
I think you're
something like
crazy.
that.
I think if
Really?
you got you and the 4 other biggest, or maybe 3 other biggest financial YouTubers, you each made a video on your channels. You're like, okay, you have the cash. We're each taking $100,000. We can invest in whatever we want, and then we're gonna get whoever investment is worth the most in a year gets all the money from everyone. And then you each made videos on it, and you made a public website where people could track the portfolios of all 4 of you. And then in a year, you all make follow-up videos about your portfolios and who won. Bro, tell me that's not good. Is that not good?
It sucks.
I think it's a
because,
great idea.
well,
I've also told him to do in real life Monopoly with the other finance creators. He didn't want to do that either.
In real life Monopoly, I don't know if that will hit, but I think
Because it's slow.
Well, it's just like it's a little childish, and that I could see like the 50-year-old dad watching your channel wouldn't care about that.
I invested $100,000 with a stock picking monkey who picked stocks randomly. It was my worst performing video.
Let me see this thumbnail.
Oh no, you're not.
Well, we
gonna
spent
like
a
it.
lot of time on this thumbnail.
Oh,
He's
gosh, you're gonna hate it.
Shred it to parts,
type
man.
in Graham Stephan stock picking monkey. You're probably gonna hate it.
Picking
Monkey.
monkey.
I'm worried. We spent so long on this thumbnail and it bombed. And by the way, on that, I changed the title thumbnail multiple times, and everything I did failed. Everything.
Yeah, I mean, I think I spent $100,000 on a stock picking monkey. That just doesn't even make sense, right? Like, if I say I built the world's largest firework, or I launched the world's largest firework, you can envision that. I don't even, like, I spent $100,000 on a stock. What is a stock picking monkey? It's not clear.
We don't get it either.
We were trying so hard to
there you
clickbait,
go.
it didn't even make
So
sense.
how would you do that? I mean,
I would title it instead like, I would have done it, but it starts with the idea. You just fucked yourself. You just picked an idea that's hard to convey in a title and thumbnail.
Correct.
I would have done something like, I blindfolded myself and picked, I invested $1 million into random companies, or something like blindfolding myself and picking investments with darts, right? Or something like that. You know what I mean? I would have to think on it for a couple weeks, but I could come up with something. But if you could convey to the viewer that you blindfolded yourself and threw darts at investments and you put $1 million in those investments, they would click. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you my idea that I really want to do at some point. It's what we did today. I think that's the next thing. I don't know if I want this included because I know everyone would copy
Interviewing other creators.
But this, what I did with Pokimane, Stradman, Michael Reeves, Kevin O'Leary, all of those videos got at least 1 million views.
Yep.
And people loved them.
And did you see the studio tour I did with Mr. Who's the Boss?
I did.
Yeah. I think the demand for that kind of content is crazy.
Yeah.
Truth be told, I told Colin and Samir the same thing. What we're doing here is what I'm telling Colin and Samir they should be doing with all other creators.
Yeah.
So I would agree. Like, it's a no-brainer. Like, basically the top 100 creators, like, no one really interviews them.
I think that, or just business people. Like, Kevin O'Leary was so interesting in terms of like how he invests and like stuff like that, but like a 15-minute
If you got
deep
one
dive.
with Andrew Tate, where you just asked him what he invested in.
That's what I've been telling him. He doesn't want to have
I think
Andrew.
I think it's too risky.
He offered to come on the podcast, but Graham didn't want to.
Really?
We have to go to Croatia. I thought it was too risky, and I didn't want him to say something that a brand might not like.
Just cut it.
But then where's the that's, I feel like what's
Then
people
put it
want
in.
to see.
Bro, if
about
you just
Andrew
went
Tate.
on there and you were like, Andrew, how do you make your money? And you just let him talk, bro, that would have popped.
It's
worried
not
it's
you
gonna-
that's saying the things.
I know, but I'm worried that I'm giving him a platform while he says something that might reflect poorly.
Pivot from Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
Pick anyone, like
Yes.
LeBron. If you could get LeBron
Shaq.
in a room, Shaq, and you're just
would
like,
be-
how do you make money? What are your investments? Banger. Like those, what is it, GQ or whatever? Ones
Yeah,
where,
My
like,
First Million.
Yeah, do that, but just do their investment portfolios. Huge series. You already know the answer.
Yeah.
Yes, obviously, those are bangers.
That's
no
what
one's
I
doing
think,
them.
yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
All right.
Thank you guys for coming out to the iced coffee. Don't forget to
Subscribe and like.
subscribe
Yeah.
and why like? Likes are irrelevant.
I don't know.
If he ever
I think it
says
helps
like
with the-
again, tweet at him and tell him to stop.
No.
Thanks for watching. Goodbye.
I gotta like the video. Cool. Thanks, man.
No problem. That was
Yeah.
good.